Good morning, everybody. I am Brea Black. I am the innovator, I guess I would say, behind the idea of Get Support Together. For those that don't know what my presentation is going to be about, this is a website that is in beta testing in the Central Texas market to create a website similar to an Angie's List for mental health. So moving forward, I want to just share with you my mission. Very powerful and very true, to bridge the gap between need and knowledge. Those in search of mental health support are empowered to access the type, intensity, cost, and connection with their mental health specialist. Recovery, self-care, and support resources will be available through an inclusive, evolving, and interactive directory. We are not going to be a static business. We are not going to say we've got it figured out. Mental health is an evolving thing in our society right now that changes with trends, with politics, with all kinds of things. So this is just the infancy of something that we hope is going to be very powerful. A little bit about me. Want to know about me? So I am a mother. I have 2 biological and 2 stepchildren. My son is a Army Ranger, and my daughter is a equine breeder. She's in Texas, he's in Georgia, and I have 2 stepchildren, and one of those is at UT getting a double major in psychology and sociology with minors of things I can't remember, and she is looking to change the face of the treatment of trauma in children. I am a wife. My husband Stephen and I will be married 10 years in just a couple of weeks. Very exciting. I am a friend. That is something that I take to heart very deeply and personally in my life, is the relationships that I have. I am also a rancher. My husband and I live on just shy of 11 acres at Dripping Springs. We have goats, and I'm jealous that you just woke up because I was out of bed by 6 a.m. milking a goat. And I am also a survivor. I am a survivor on many fronts. One, I think that every person that gets out of bed in the morning is a survivor. I have complex PTSD. And I have raised children with significant mental health issues and struggled with the challenges of the world. So I think we're all survivors. My story, Get Support Together, began actually, the first concept for it came in about 2005. My daughter was then 2 years old and was expressing severe emotional distress. How does a 2-year-old do that? Fits beyond comprehension. I had doctors tell me that I had, I can never say it, Munchausen syndrome, that I was wanting my child to be sick. I felt alone, depleted, unsupported, unloved, uncared about. It was a desperate, horrible place. By 5, we found my daughter a therapist and a psychiatrist. That was very difficult. She went on mood stabilizers. And when she was 8, she was diagnosed with a chronic neurological issue that answered every single one of those questions for her. And it was a very alone time. Then I met my husband, who is the love of my life, and he has a daughter who, beyond emotional distress, I came into her life when she was 8. It turns out she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and we did have an extremely difficult decade, and I did try to raise her as my own. And those 2 ideas, those situations just stirred in my brain. And then there was an instance one night where my stepdaughter had to be taken away by the police. And I laid in the tub and I thought, let me just fall asleep, because that's not suicide. And that night in a dream, the name Get Support Together came to me. And I vowed that at some point in my future, I was going to build this thing that had been in my mind for all these years to help people. And that's how we came to be. It evolved because I met people along the way. Very personal relationships are really big to me, and I saw the evolution of people being willing to talk about mental health, not being afraid to say, I'm having a blue day, or I can't get out of bed. And all of that's just kept opening this up to a place where people can actually have this conversation. And I believed if I build it, they will come. And this is a big thing. I feel like I'm walking a path that I was meant to walk. And I just know that in this incredible community, in this incredible country, that everybody is going to come together under this. The criteria for me right now is what I consider S to S. Sadness to suicidal ideation and everything in between. So the criteria that looking at is community-based mental health. And that is not a political statement, which I need to clarify for people because there are politics behind the concept of community health. What I am looking for are the churches, the occupational therapist who treats sensory disorders. I am looking for the therapist in the corner office. I am looking for the residential treatment center. I am looking for programs that empower women and teens and veterans and treatment centers and crisis resources, everything in one place. If any of you have ever needed to look for mental health support, you've got now a BetterHelp that, answers some questions. But how many of you, I'm curious, how many of you have ever spent more than 5 minutes on Google trying to find a mental health option? So take us, so we were looking, my stepdaughter spent most of her teenage years at treatment centers because we could not save Linky Britt home, trying to find a residential treatment center or trying to find somebody in our community that would help us. We loved her, wanting to support her, not send her away. But that was the only option that we had. My primary market is everybody, but I will tell you that I am especially true to children. I believe the troubled teen industry is a very big problem. I believe that children endure more than we know. So my real soft spot in this are any kind of providers that work with children, from infant mental health, which I just learned is a thing, all the way through that 18, 21, 25 range. When will it be available? So right now it is fully functioning, which I'm extremely proud of. I can't even begin to tell you how much work this was. We are beta testing in the Central Texas market. We're doing a lot of one-on-one with therapists and providers and treatment centers and hospitals. Are we representing you well? I'm not a therapist, right? So are we representing you? Are we hitting the hot buttons? Did we miss something? Are we totally off base? How does this application process work for you? So available, I would be considering the beta testing complete when we have 5,000 providers. It is a very lofty goal, but I feel like until we have 5,000, there's not a whole lot of value in terms of what kind of search results somebody can get when they come to the website. So the unique offering, for people that know BetterHelp, you can answer some questions and get provided with a therapist that's going to be a match for you. We are very different down to our core. So starting with the only full spectrum website resource containing all mental health resources, regardless of age, culture, sexual orientation, and ability to pay. One thing that I'm extremely proud of is a little button that says free. Complete control over filtering options to identify support type, conditions treated, modalities used, education, and more. So when I'm talking about this, I'm looking at, hey, this TMS facility just opened down the street for me. What is TMS? How can it benefit me? What treatment providers are offering it? Hey, my kid lives in California and I want to help them find somebody. All of these are available there. National Mental Health Community Events Calendar, including support groups, workshops, sponsored events, and more. This just launched last week. We are working on more enhancements to it. NAMI, Central Texas, is already testing their events on the website, which is huge. I also have some community organizations putting their events up there. This is huge. I mean, you especially look at NAMI, and they have all these amazing free mental health workshops and groups. The only way to find them is going to NAMI's website in the area where you are. But let's just say you're just feeling down and you're like, where can I get support today? Go to this community events calendar. I'm willing to go into Austin, enter these cities. Boom, there you go. Very, very excited about this. Interactive participation with the ability to suggest new service types, add mental health categories, treatment modalities, and more. We are fluid, guys. Treatment modalities are changing and evolving, especially in the trauma sector. We want to evolve and take this continued feedback. So one of the things I'm working on is getting a place on the website where somebody can just submit feedback, add a treatment modality, add whatever. Engagement and responsiveness with content driven by leading mental health professionals, interactive facts, hot topic discussion boards, and more. This is on a future release, and this is something I'm extremely passionate about. Somebody being able to go to a mental health condition page, hear a professional speak, that voice, that connection, and then provide information where providers, based on their membership level, can interact, answer these questions. And then it builds that provider's profile. And then it also gives people a lot of different feedback. Providers validate experience and specialties with inclusion of continuing education log. All right, mental health providers in the room, how many specialties do you say you don't have, that you will have? How many specialties?
Well, I mean, our distilleries, now, but it's kind of overwhelming. Yeah, there's many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? How many specialties would you say you have?
About 5.
Okay. So it's very fascinating that you go to Psychology Today or some of these other websites and they have 40 specialties. How can somebody have 40 specialties? Me personally, and I might be the odd one out, but if I'm going to see a therapist for a very specific issue, I want to actually know they have education in that. We have continuing education logs where the providers can enter in their continuing education that then links to the treatment modality or the condition. So that brings you up in yet another search field. And then somebody can actually see, what are you really what I'm looking for? National Mental Health Crisis Directory, inclusive of mental health police divisions, emergency rooms, respite centers, shelters, and more. I am looking to build a filter across the top of every page that says, are you or someone you care about in crisis, enter your zip code here. It will bring national hotlines. It will bring local resources, whether it be the police, whether it be agencies that will come out to your house or where you can call, anywhere that you can get help right there where you are. Because 911 people is not always the best call. Free list, I actually probably should have started there. Free listings available for every provider type with the ability to update. Any service that is 100% free to clients is 100% free on Get Support Together. So I'm going to expand on this for a second. My policy is all government agency support and all religious support is free. They will be listed for free on Get Support Together. Those are huge aspects. But even more, if there are agencies that are doing things entirely for free, they are free on Get Support Together. We do have 2 membership levels that they enhance what you can list and more engagement and things like that. My target market's pretty simple, really. Mental health providers, anywhere and everywhere. And there are so many people that are mental health providers that don't even think of themselves as mental health providers. But when you're offering empowerment and learning, independence, those are all positive mental health. So recreational programming, your rock climbing gym does a day for neurodiverse kids. That is a mental health service, because we want to find places that children can go when they're feeling bullied, when they don't feel right in their skin, when they're having a divorce. Imagine how powerful that is as a parent. Everybody talked about can't wait to get your kids back to school. What if your kid has issues and you want to help them? Where do you go today? I live in teeny little Dripping Springs. There are hundreds of resources. I could find 2 when we really needed help. Treatment I don't know why I wrote treatment methods. That doesn't work. Nutritionists. This was just brought up to me the other day. Nutritionists and dietitians. I never thought about it, but there is so much needing for mental health. Empowerment retreats, respite centers, hospitals, peer support specialists, recreational programming. The recreational programming is huge. You know how many women's groups there are that go do amazing, powerful things? My site users, those in search of any level of mental health care for themselves or a loved one. Heavy focus on children's services and shedding light on the troubled teen industry. Anyone looking to learn about or engage in mental health discussions. What am I doing now? I'm working on establishing key relationships, getting feedback, support, resources, collaborations. I'm working with NAMI Central Texas, the United Way, Texas State Translational Research Center, Bastrop County Cares. I am making connections and I'm finding people who can help us build this platform. Beta testing, we're testing site performance, the intake process, workflows, provider feedback, all of these IT things that make my head spin. Community involvement, attendance of wide-reaching mental health events and workshops to continue listening to mental health providers and community members. Establishing processes, considering how we will reach providers, risk with offering so many free options, type of support staff needed, legal requirements, etc. Goals. This is where I am. As I said, 5,000 providers by year's end is my goal. And part of that is I make not a penny until I reach 5,000 providers. I have a policy right now that anybody can upgrade to any of the memberships for free because it benefits me to learn how that interaction is working. The events calendar, using the events calendar as supplemental revenue to increase awareness and to increase awareness for free programming. I really am hoping that this events calendar will become a profit center that can help me supplement a lot of those free listings. Texas-wide launch, I look to complete the beta stage and extend the reach to the state of Texas with focus on rural and underserved communities that are provided to me by the Texas State Translational Research Center. But these are really cool, your very rural areas that have almost no resources. Attract leaders. Through endorsement or key relationships, secure content builders from leading mental health providers. This is something, guys, I don't have. But this is my dream. And I really feel that somebody's just going to come across my path and say, hey, my best friend is so-and-so. Staff up. Using interns, strategic relationships, identify roles for permanent staff, key contractors, licensing, financial investment, and more. It's a pretty lofty goal. Right now, I'm self-funded and I am out of my biggest struggles, what is it working? I want to speak for a second about my capacity and skill set. Just about 1 year ago, actually 2 weeks shy of a year, I was in a life-threatening car accident. I have been left with a brain injury. I have very poor short-term memory, and I can't work for much more than 5 hours a day. So the Brea that expected to launch this business is not the Brea that is standing here today. I've had to go through my own mental health journey to accept where I am and be okay with it. But I also realize that that is going to make me a roadblock in my own business. And very soon I'm going to need to bring somebody in that can take on more of an operational role. Further financial investments, we believe in this so much. And I truly believe that this is my path in life. So if God gave me this idea, God is going to put the right people in front of me. And at some point, somebody's just going to come up to me and say, what do you need? Provider engagement and relationships. It's really hard to be the jack of all trades. So I'll spend a day networking, and then it takes me 4 days to catch up. And then the last thing is it's just so big. I have people biting at the chomps wanting me to introduce senior solutions to the website as well, which I would love to do, but you know that. You ready for me to do this slide? Okay. So the big thing that they say, what is the ask that the 1 Million Cups community can do for me? Mental health provider or change maker introductions. I need you talking to all your peers and any of your teachers and any of the people that are supervising. I need you to tell all your friends. I say, look, the website's now fully developed. It's beta, but she needs people on the site. I need people going through the flow. Spread the word. Guys, we are going to make this happen. And I don't know if I'm going to reach my year's end goal. I don't know if it's just going to be me struggling through and figuring this out, or if somebody's going to walk up to my door and we're going to blow this thing out of the water. But spread the word, because this is important. And I like to say that I am definitely the face of Get Support Together, but I'm not. This is not about me. This is about us. This is about us, our parents, our friends, our children, our neighbors. We need to do better. Speaking engagements, networking. I love it. I can talk about this all day long. So if anybody knows any more opportunities, I'm happy to jump on and do that. Connections with interns. So one of the things, it's not in my ask, but we're working on creating the Get Support Together Foundation so that I can accept grants, offer volunteer hours. But one of the big priorities of Get Support Together will be doing, once we're profitable, doing mini grants where mental health providers can only qualify if they are going to be providing a free service. So like Upright Circus could call me and say, for $500, we could put 7 students through our program for whatever, things like that. So I really need to be a foundation to have that all work properly. Anybody knows a lawyer that can help me out for really cheap. But my hope is to get interns and offer real on-the-job working experience, building something very relevant. Follow me on social. I will be honest with you, I'm very bad at social, and that's one of my next things is desperately looking for somebody that can help with social. With my brain, I just find it incredibly overwhelming. It's just very hard. So that's me. That's Get Support Together. You can find us at getsupporttogether.com. This is the business number. And I really do believe that together we can be the change that our country needs. Thank you.